I'm Lauren Ashley Beck, and I watch everything so you don't have to.
And I'm Naz Perez, and I make sure that you don't waste your time watching stuff that's not worth your time.
And today we're going to talk about all things trending, what's leaving streaming, and what you have to watch next.
And I'm so excited because there's so many good things out right now, Lauren. We have to talk about the Michael Jackson movie.
That's the first thing that I was going to say.
First thing,
yes.
I've seen it twice.
Of course you have.
I went to a press screening, and as I'm sure you've heard because everyone's talking about it,
yes.
critics and audiences are split on this one. So I saw it in a press screening, not a lot of cheering, and I was like, this movie's so good. I loved it.
Yes.
I need to see it again with friends, with fans. So I saw it again. Biggest opening for a music biopic of all time.
Insane.
Made $217 million, beating Bohemian Rhapsody.
Insane. Straight
Outta Compton. I am absolutely in awe of Jafar Jackson's performance.
I am too. The way that he literally just like...
Because I could talk about this forever.
No, I could too. What I do have to say is do not listen to critics. Go see Michael. I feel like it's one of those things. And I also saw it at a press screening. Same vibe. I feel like it wasn't as well received in the room as seeing it with people that really love Michael and love his story.
Yeah.
Jafar Jackson is untouchable. I mean, I heard that on set, people were like, is that Michael? Just his physicality, his voice, his movement, everything that he did to embody the character really translated on screen for me.
No, he inhabits his uncle.
Yes.
I don't if most people know this, but if you don't know, he's Michael Jackson's
actual nephew,
which is insane.
Yeah.
This is his first film role ever. He trained for 3 years, was not handed the role,
Yeah.
had to audition. What literally I thought was so insane was Michael's voice.
Yes.
I thought he nailed it. And I read that he would like read books out loud just to like get the pitch correctly. It's him dancing.
Yes.
Like it's insane.
Yeah.
It's he's going to get nominated for an Oscar.
He has to.
I don't know if I would love for him to win. I don't know if he would win because of the Academy. But he absolutely deserves to get nominated.
Where do you think that divide comes from, though, with critics and the fan viewership? Like, why do you think it's that they're so critical of the film?
I love that you asked this question because I worked for Rotten Tomatoes for 6 years.
Yes.
So the first thing I want to say is a lot of people online are knocking Rotten Tomatoes. And I think what people forget is that Rotten Tomatoes is an aggregator of what critics are saying. They're not the ones that decide what people are saying. Sure. So it's basically like a thermostat. It's going to tell you how hot or cold it is outside, but it's not deciding the weather outside. So,
I like that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that's not what the tomato meter is.
Right.
In terms of what the critics think, it's weird because I'm in the Critics' Choice Association.
This is why I asked this question.
Yeah, I'm 36. I'm Latina.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's a generational thing, Lauren, but I was born in 1990. I'm a millennial. I consider myself a film amplifier. I think films are really hard to make.
Yeah.
I think people knock things when they're down technically.
Okay.
I think a lot of the story, obviously Michael Jackson's life is extremely complex. Sure. There's allegations. There's a lot of things that people want to factually be portrayed in a biopic. Everybody has a say. And I haven't read all the articles to be an extremely credible source on this, but from the little that I have read, they did include some stuff originally in this film that had to get taken out, and there were $50 million in reshoots for the film. And that's why at the end of the movie, if you've seen it, spoiler, this is a part 1. And it was just announced yesterday that there's going to be a part 2. So I'm curious to see how they are going to address those parts of Michael Jackson's life in the second part of the film. We may be looking at a Michael Jackson franchise.
Yeah, which I think would be great. I mean, from where I'm standing, like you said, of course the story is going to feel a little disjointed because there are actual parts, like Janet being his sister, but requesting not being in the film.
Right.
It's not going to feel... I think people...
Fully formed.
Right. And I think when you can't go into something like this with expectations. And I think that's also the downfall of what people are saying or viewing, you know?
I think the thing for people that grew up with Michael Jackson, like me, like who knew, like, because I went with my friend who has a girlfriend who's younger. She didn't know the story. She didn't know the story.
The people crying and screaming at the Michael shows.
And I was like, I was telling her on the car ride there, you will never understand that Michael Jackson was the biggest star on the planet.
Yeah.
And no one has ever been bigger than him.
Yeah.
And what I personally loved about this story and why I saw it twice in IMAX, by the way, I think people need to see this on the biggest screen possible, especially if you're a Michael Jackson fan.
Absolutely.
I love that the performances are all the way through. They don't cut the song short.
It felt like a concert film for me.
It is a concert film. You need to watch it on the biggest screen with the best sound. Where was I going with this?
You were saying your friend, she's young, the impact of Michael Jackson.
She had never heard Bad, you know?
Ever?
Yeah, that was her first time because that was the last song in this part 1.
Yes.
But it was just, it's good for younger audiences also to get a feel for the soul of Michael Jackson. Maybe the story isn't completely there. We're never going to really know. But I think Jafar inhabited his uncle, and I think the soul of Michael Jackson, it almost felt like was possessed by Jafar's body.
Yeah.
And his heart and his soul and what he did for children.
Yes.
Because he did, who knows what he actually did with children, you know, in bed and another time in his life. But he did go to hospitals. He did donate. And people were transfixed and still are by his art.
Absolutely. I agree. And then to your point, like with younger audiences, just getting to know the man behind Michael, not just Michael Jackson, the superstar, why he loved animals more than he loved people, why he was the way that he was. I feel like that was something that we were missing, or even like down to how he performed and why he performed the way that he did. I also want to give love to little Michael as well, because I feel like he's not getting his flowers.
He broke my heart.
He bodied that.
Boy.
I know. He bodied. I know. He did a phenomenal job. Coleman Domingo,
Chills.
insane.
Coleman Domingo is proven that he can inhabit any role. There's no role too big or too small for him.
He also humanized Joe in a way that I don't think I ever saw before. Obviously, like, you know, the things that he did were very questionable, but Michael would not be who he was if he didn't have.
Isn't that fascinating?
It's crazy.
And that's
to
all
me.
Our stories, right?
Yeah.
We pick I believe we choose our parents.
Absolutely.
But seeing the fact that he was even scared to stand up to his own father when he paid for the house, which, by the way, I've been to that house.
Yeah.
I've been to the Michael Jackson. They throw a killer Halloween party every year. And my friend is friends with the Jackson family.
Okay, well,
and in 2021,
I
went. I only got invited once.
Yes.
But it didn't occur to me until I saw the film that I was like, oh my God, I was walking on holy ground. Thriller was written in a room that I was like in.
Insane.
It's insane. Yeah. What I really loved about the film too is that he channels. Right? And Michael Jackson was an art for any creative. It's proof that we don't own anything, and that all ideas come from somewhere. Sure. And Michael was a perfect example of someone that executed on those things and was a visionary. But the fact that he stood up to his dad, I think Coleman humanizes that. I think Nia Long did a great job as his mother.
So good.
She's so stunning too. I was so transfixed by her beauty the whole time. Yeah. The outfits, everything. So good. Yeah. I mean, I could go on and on.
How could you not? I know, so could I. And that's the thing, that I was so conflicted about what to say about it, because everybody was so conflicted as well about how they felt about it.
It's complex rhetoric. It really is. It's hard to stand up and say how you feel because so many people, it's so divisive.
Yeah, this is a biopic like I've never seen before, honestly.
Yeah. Would you want to see more than one more film? Would you want to see like 3
I
or
definitely
4
think
Michael
so,
Jackson
but it's like
movies?
I would love to see 3 or 4.
That
but
would
it's
be
like
insane.
That's why I'm very intrigued on how they're going to do part 2, because I do know that's what people wanted. They wanted to go into the allegations and all of that. And I feel like we've seen so many different types of films like this. I'd be interested to see their take on what happened and how it happened and how they do it from his POV. Yeah.
And I too would love to see 3 to 4 films. His life is so rich, so complex. Absolutely. There's so much to it. I'm like, give me more movies, drag it on for the next 3 to 4. And this is like my Avengers. You know, like I love a music version of that. Just want to give a quick shout out before we move on to the next title, because there's so much to talk about. Is Mike Myers makes a cameo in the Michael Jackson movie. Did you catch it?
Yes. And
he's so
he's
good.
Insane.
And I just wanted to throw that out there for anyone who hasn't. Sorry, there's like a bubble in my teeth. I just want to throw that out there for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, because it's kind of fun to look out for to see if you guys can
little
catch.
Easter egg for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so The Boys' 5th and final season. We've got to get into it. Do you know the Boys symbol? I don't know if we're allowed to do it on camera.
What is it? I don't know it.
So if you see them doing that, that's like their thing.
You know why I don't know what that is?
Why?
So when The Boys came out, I thought, I'm obsessed with superhero movies, lore, comic books, all the things. When The Boys came out, I was like, this is the most prolific superhero, I don't want to call it content, but like story that I've seen in a long time. Like I felt like Homelander was one of the smartest superheroes ever written. And it was so good in terms of like covering politics and social media and influencing and all the things that we deal with in real life. Sure. But if superheroes like lived among us.
Right. Which is a really cool perspective.
Yeah. And I loved it. It is a hit show for Amazon. Yeah. Season 5 is happening right now. There's 2 episodes out. The finale, we're approaching the finale, but I fell off after season 3.
See, and that's the thing with shows like this. I feel like when something's so good, you don't need to run it into the ground. I feel like we have an 8-episode final season, and the expectations are so high that I feel like it creates space for a really big letdown, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we saw that happen with things like Game of Thrones, like even Riverdale. I remember Riverdale by season 3, I was like, okay, the plot has
shifted.
Plotted.
Yeah.
And like it kept going for 7 seasons. Walking Dead went on for 11 seasons. I do love the showrunner of The Boys, Eric Kripke.
Yeah.
I think he's a genius. I think Amazon's really smart to have these different spin-off shows to
Of
keep
course.
the world alive. But unfortunately, unless you've stuck with The Boys, I don't think it's worth like jumping in again. But I have heard that Homelander is in his like ultimate tyrant era, which is very mirroring and reflective of the country that we're
in right
living
now. No, I also
So-
think too, like when you have a show like this, and it's based off of a comic, you're gonna have people that are like diehard fans that know the exact story.
Right.
And now that he's saying that it might end differently, I think that also creates space for like,
No,
is this gonna be
definitely
good?
watch it if
Yeah.
you're a huge
Of
fan
course.
of The Boys. It's an incredible show. The
Sure.
actors are incredible. They're killing off big characters. The stakes are really high.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth me catching up on a season and a half.
Yeah.
In other words, so I think I'm going to skip it is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
this is why I love shows like The White Lotus, because they can keep going and going and going, but it's one season that's about one story, one thing, and the stakes are very, very high. And then at the end of it, you're like, okay, the payoff was great because it's just that one story.
It's sad that our attention spans are so
that
short
short?
these
I
days that
know.
now, but you're right, that format of Black Mirror
Yes.
and White Lotus,
Yes.
where it's like just serialized and more episodic, like I agree.
We're locked in.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to move on to Euphoria. I have to talk about it.
Okay, tell me about Euphoria because I want to hear what you think first.
Did you see the wedding?
So
Don't you dare
I'm not
say it.
watching Euphoria.
Why? Do you feel
I
like too
know.
much time has passed in between?
Do you want to say your part first? or do
No,
you
I
me to
want
go
you.
in
I
it?
want you
Okay,
to go.
then
go.
you can go into
yes,
all the
yes,
things.
yes.
What Sam created with Euphoria was iconic.
Initially.
And I hate using that word. No, the world, even
Okay.
still, is so beautiful and it's so coming of age and like the performances are so compelling. He literally, I mean, everybody on that show is now a star.
A star.
It's incredible. It was addicting, alluring for me. So much time went on, what was it, 4 years
Yes.
since the last Euphoria, where I was excited to jump back in until Labyrinth, who did the music for Euphoria, came out and had some issues. I can't speak to them because I
Of
don't know
course.
them, but had some creative differences with Sam.
Yes.
Sam
Sam
Levinson.
Levinson.
Levinson or
Levinson.
Levinson?
I think
always
it's
get those
Levinson.
confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that kind of threw me off before the season started. I was like, damn, did they do Labyrinth dirty? Because Labyrinth his music is a character in the show.
A literal character in the show. Justice for Labyrinth, because it is so apparent to me that he is not a part of it. And like even in the wedding,
really?
it is so apparent to me. I don't know
feels
what
different?
It feels different. It's like the energy is different. Even at Cassie's wedding, like I literally said, a Labyrinth song would be so good right now.
Wow.
It's very random, like elevator music. So it kind of the stakes are not as high. I do love it. I fear.
Well, the last thing
yes,
I'll say
go,
until
go,
you're-
go.
the big reason why I'm not into it is
Okay.
because energetically, I
Yes.
don't feel like the actors are into it anymore.
Is that because you feel like they're too big of stars? Jacob Elordi, Zendaya's always been a friggin' star.
Yes,
Sydney?
yes.
Yes.
And I don't think they care as much. And I'm just feeling that energetically.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the premiere didn't feel like people were in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just not feeling that through the screen. I'm happy for you to change my mind right now and tell me why I
think
should
the more
watch it.
that I get into it, the more that I do feel like they are in it.
Okay.
I agree with you though. I think the premiere episode, I was kind of like, something, it feels off. It just doesn't feel like it's cohesive or like flowing correctly.
Right.
But I do think that there's something to be said about it's hard because we've lost the plot a little bit. We really have. And the storylines are just, I like when it's about them, and now it's just become about all of these different sort of worlds. People are questioning if it's a Western. It's not.
Why
And
are people saying it's a Western?
it's just because visually, that's what they're saying.
well,
And
I'm down with that.
But
That sounds hot.
it's not. There are parts of it where Zendaya is like doing her drug deals and this and that, but it's
Right.
not that. I just think that, to your point, they are too big of stars. I think that I'm locked in. Like I am locked in.
Do you
Like,
think I should watch it?
I absolutely think you should
Okay.
watch it.
I'll-
I think
I'll start
the
it this
stakes are
weekend.
very high, and I do feel like there are parts of the story that like we are getting, and I don't want to say too many spoilers if you guys are going to watch it
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah.
But I do think that there are parts of the story that we're getting that we were missing from 4 years ago.
Oh, okay. So
that
it
is
is
what I
filling
like.
in gaps,
Yes, it
which is important story-wise.
And then I also want to say Alexa Demi.
I was just gonna say I need more of her
So, but-
in my life and Coleman Domingo.
So, but I
always.
think that they're like the highlights of the season because we have not been getting a lot of them in other projects. So like Jacob Elordi, I feel like maybe a little bit fatigued, but like when Alexa Demie is on screen, I'm like, oh, give me more. I want more.
Because
and
she doesn't feel oversaturated.
She doesn't. And it's actually her role because she's a social media manager. So like they do a very good job at placing it in 2026, making it relatable to 2026, tying in these old relationships, situationships into what's happening now.
Yeah.
But I just want more of her.
Me too.
And
as a Latina, I always want that. I think she's so badass.
She's
Did
phenomenal.
you see the A24 film Waves?
No. Incredible. See, but why are we not getting
I
more
was like
of her?
willing to have like double chin for
Yes,
that.
Hollywood, this is what we want. More Alexa Demie,
Someone
please.
literally wrote that on Threads.
Really?
And I was
That's
like,
what I want. That's what we need to see. And let me tell you,
Damn,
Lord,
I've never seen you this
She
high
looked
towards
so good walking
the
into that
premiere?
wedding. Walking into the wedding. Her dress literally was dental floss, but she wore that floss so good.
But that's what you have to do when you're going to your ex's wedding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And she did it well. And then
1000%.
Cassie is just as insane as ever. And she's an OnlyFans model, or can I say
heard that.
She's
Yeah,
a fans, whatever.
That's out there.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So she, that also is cool to see sort of that dynamic.
Great.
And then have Maddie come in and sort of want to manage her. So it creates like, there's so many nuances to their relationship.
Which
and
is really
subtleties.
cool because I did see a meme where Cassie's like, I lost the other love of my life, which
Yes.
is you. And a
Yes.
lot of it was what I love a lot about a lot of these romances, and it's a perfect segue into the next show I want to talk to you about, is on-screen female friendships. Like Insecure was about Molly and Issa. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Issa's character.
Yes.
So I love that between Alexa's character and Cassie.
Yes.
But can we talk about Hacks now?
Let's talk about Hacks.
Okay, because I think that Jean Smart is doing some of the best comedic work for anyone over 70, anyone in general, but especially anyone over 70.
Absolutely.
As someone who worked at E! Entertainment when Joan Rivers was there for Fashion Police, like I know that Jean Smart's character
is like based off of Joan
Deborah
Rivers.
Vance.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of it's inspired by Joan.
Yes.
So I just love that. And I think that if people have been following along, like her chemistry with Hannah Einbinder.
Oh my God.
Is so juicy and delicious. Like it really feels like they love, hate each other.
Yeah.
Like any,
Yeah.
complex female relationship.
Yeah,
at
I've
work
interviewed
and friendship.
I
Yeah, tell me
interviewed
about it.
Hannah Einbinder and Jean Smart and
Yeah.
Paul W. Downs,
Yeah.
and even off screen,
Paul's so
Hannah and
funny.
he's such a he's a good one to like get in with too because
Yeah.
he's such a talent, just such an artist.
I mean, he made the show with his
Yeah,
wife, right?
incredible.
Yeah.
But Jean and Hannah, their dynamic off screen is it just makes sense to me why they are the way that they are on screen.
Really?
Yes, like they love each other. Like it's the same vibe. Like they love each other. So there's just you can just tell that they're so intertwined with one another. They're so in sync. Like finishing each other's sentences and like just very much like in tune. And that
meant
comes
to,
across.
like,
meant to be on screen together.
Yeah. I love when people inhabit roles that are basically them and where they don't have to like put on the chemistry, which is why Mike White is so good.
Right.
When he casts for the White Lotus, he does it based off people's Enneagram, which is like kind of what your energy type is. And that's why the White Lotus is so good because he casts people kind of in the roles they already are.
Right.
And that's why I love Hacks. I also love Hacks as a female host.
Yes.
And journalist.
Yes.
And,
And like you
just
said, that
seeing her
comedic-
rise as a talk show host. It is really hard for women in the industry still.
Absolutely.
It is hard for female comics, which I have even had to tell myself, stop saying, just say comic.
Yes.
Right?
Not
even
female
me,
comics,
I work in the
yes.
industry and I'll be like, oh,
Absolutely.
Nikki Glazer's such a great comic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. Definitely watch Hacks
For
season
sure.
5. I'm
Last
like
one,
scared. I feel like
right?
it's gonna be really heartbreaking
I
this finale
know.
because every finale has been really heartbreaking between the two of them.
I know.
So I can imagine what this one's gonna be like. And shout out to Megan Stalter, who's so funny.
I love her. There's no
She's
one like
so-
her.
no one
she's
like
just
her.
such a great of our time.
Her character's so perfectly unhinged
Yes.
that it makes me smile. Okay, I want to talk about what's leaving streamers because I hate when I see something on a streamer and I'm like, oh, I gotta watch that, and then I'll leave it in my queue and then I don't, and then all of a sudden I'm like, it's gone. Where did it go? Nobody told me. So I just want everyone to know. Just watch. We got your back. You guys can look up what's leaving streamers, and we're going to tell you what is leaving and what we think you should watch. So, starting off with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
I love it.
Even if you don't love animation,
Yeah.
this is a must-see for me. All of these films are a must-see for me. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is the second one. We're getting a third.
Yes.
But the animation in these films is doing something that we haven't really seen since Fantasia. Each each character in the Spider-Man multiverse, there's multiple Spider-Men
Yes.
and women. And they all have their own animation style, Lauren.
I know.
Like Spider-Punk is like hand-drawn collage.
Yes.
Gwen's character is so cool because her world
Changes on
with
her emotions.
with her
I know,
mood.
I know. Visually, it's so cool.
beautiful. So I really, truly feel like not only is the story so beautiful,
Yeah.
like Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who directed Project Hail Mary recently, they are the writers on these incredible stories. I love them so much, and I think they're really rewriting a different language in terms of animation. And also, I just love that Miles is part Dominican.
Same.
And he's like an Afro-Latino
Yes.
Spider-Man. I would love to see these live action, but please, please don't miss out on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, and I definitely think it gives kids a chance to see themselves in this film. Like you said, like when have we ever seen Spider-Man be anything but white? So it's really nice to see. And I think visually too, this is why it's so important. Like we cannot let AI take over, because I think things like Spider-Gwen's world being so colorful and the way that it is, I don't think that that's something that AI could create. You know, or maybe they could, but just not as good.
You're so funny. Well, I can't wait to dive into AI with you on our next podcast.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, so definitely catch Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Another film that is leaving streamers that I really, really want people to see is The Batman. So I'm obsessed with Batman. You know this about me.
Yes.
I literally had a Batman
birthday party.
Like,
tell everybody what you dressed up as.
Okay, so I dressed up as Poison Ivy. I love the 90s Batmans, you know, the Val Kilmers, the George Clooney ones. They were so campy. It's a character that's been around over 86 years. He means so much to me because he's my favorite superhero of all time. Batman's also the only superhero. It's hard to call him a superhero because he's more of like a vigilante
of the night.
He's the only vigilante superhero that has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Crazy.
And I just think Bruce Wayne is the shit.
He is.
But
I feel like that's such a testament to like our age too, because back then, absolutely, because he was like everything.
He still is. He's always has been everything to me. So the reason why I want people to see The Batman is because Robert Pattinson is Batman. And I did the first interview for this film.
Wow.
And I was obsessed with Matt Reeves' take on Batman because what's so cool about Batman is there's so many iterations and versions of him. There's dark, gritty Batman, Christian Bale, Nolan. There's campy Batman, Adam West. You know, it's very like pow, ha, Batman and Robin. Like it's so cool how many like forms that this one character can take. Gotham is a world I'm obsessed with, but Chris Reeves' version of it is really cool because he really dives into young Batman. So right when he's starting out, and Robert Pattinson's kind of like a Kurt Cobain version of Batman. It's very dark. It's very noir.
I like that
There's a lot of black and red.
Yeah.
Greg Fraser. Fraser.
I think Fraser.
He is my favorite cinematographer in all of Hollywood. Well, also in addition to the cinematographer that just won an Oscar for Sinners, Autumn. But
phenomenal.
Greg did the DP work on a lot of my favorite films, like Vogue One, Dune, I think Project Hail Mary. And this is one of the most stunningly striking Batman films of all time because
but aren't they using like real like when cars and stuff are blowing up, they're really blowing them up.
Practical effects. Yes, I love that you brought that up because CGI doesn't age well in real time.
And you can always tell. But it's I know that it's more expensive. Like everybody studios are trying to do things that are more cost effective. But I feel like with CGI, you always can tell.
You can tell a year later because technology advances so fast.
Absolutely.
Practical. It's why the Star Wars films are so timeless.
Yes.
It's why people loved Project Hail Mary. Yeah. Because it was a puppet, a puppeteer who's, by the way, now going to be eligible for supporting actor at the Oscars next year, which is insane. So practical effects all the way.
Yes.
Watch The Batman. The last film I really, really want people to watch, Lauren, before it leaves streamers, is John Wick 4.
Yes. I know.
Tell me all your things.
I love Keanu Reeves. Like, he has a special place in my heart.
National treasure.
He really is. Like, we don't deserve him. But I want to talk about all of the training that he did for this. I mean, I know we talked about it in the last episode about like how we love how people embody their characters, like Leo and
Sean Penn.
Sinners. Yes. All of them. Michael B. Jordan. Yes. So Keanu literally did 3 to 4 months of training of like marksmanship and nunchuck training and like all of these different things so he could really embody that character. And I love that because it just really envelops you into the world of John Wick.
I don't think you could find a bigger John Wick fan in the entire world. Like what Keanu Reeves and Chad Stahelski have built. So Chad Stahelski was Keanu Reeves' stuntman on The Matrix.
Wow.
And then they literally created this franchise that people thought was going to go nowhere. The first John Wick film, by the way, almost didn't get made. Eva Longoria had to like send them money for them to make it. She like believed in it and saved, and it became one of the best action franchises in the world.
Yeah.
What's so prolific about the work that they're doing together is that the action sequences are like watching ballet.
Yes.
It's dance. I've interviewed Chad and John.
And
I've interviewed
Keanu.
Chad and Keanu
Yes.
Keanu is John Wick. I've interviewed both of them for John Wick 4 specifically. And you're right, it really is a craft. And if you don't know about fighting, what's so fascinating is Chad was telling me what they do is they mix different fighting styles. So you'll see one person doing jiu-jitsu fighting a person who's doing judo.
Yeah.
And then they'll add in a sword and they'll make this guy blind. And all of a sudden, it's like this fascinating, interesting
There was a name
fight that you're watching.
of the type that they were doing, gun fu.
Yeah,
which is
Gung Fu
Brazilian
is what
jiu-jitsu.
Yes, good job. Gung
yes.
Fu is what they call
It's like
it.
I wrote that in my notes.
Yes, and what I think is so sick also about the John Wick films, because I could also talk about these forever. I
Yeah.
loved Ballerina with Ana de Armas. I hosted the live premiere for it in London.
Wow.
Is that they reload in these films, so they're real. In most action films, you never see someone like reloading their gun.
Yeah.
I think that's what's so sick is that Keanu and Chad really want you to feel like you're in a lived in, and David Leitch too, who was part of 87 North, which is like the production team and the people that really build out these sequences in fighting. And the last thing I'll say is why people should watch John Wick 4.
Yes.
And I feel very strongly about this is because in a couple years, stunt people are going to finally be given their flowers at the Oscars.
As they should
and I
be.
think absolutely if that award was out now, that the John Wick films would have won those.
I do want to ask you something because we did talk about like The Boys and that being 5 seasons, and you saying that you're a John Wick fan and there's so many movies.
Yeah.
What's like your take on that?
Okay, so John Wick could go on and on forever.
Yeah.
I mean, John Wick, technically, spoiler,
Does
you should
go
watch
on
the
for-
fourth.
right.
No, you should watch the end of the fourth one because you got to find out if he makes it or not.
Right.
He may not make it. Apparently, there is a new John Wick film in the works. I asked
heard.
Keanu,
Yeah.
but it would be kind of like a coming back from the dead, which is why they did a spinoff with Ballerina. These are so timeless to me because the world that they created, it's like the Continental, the assassins, there's rules, it's gamified. And the best part about it is it's all because someone killed his dog in the first one. And so I could watch these movies till the day I die. I really could. I feel the same way about Fast and Furious. I feel the same way about Bad Boys.
I
It's
feel the same way
thing,
about-
but it's the chemistry and the fighting that keeps me coming back.
Yeah. Fast and Furious for sure. It's just that nostalgic, like you just can't escape
I
it.
would just watch them till the day I die.
Yeah. All right, so there are so many new titles coming out. We have to talk about all the films that are heading to theaters.
This year's insane when it comes to movies.
I'm so excited for award season, specifically hoping that Devil Wears Prada 2 gets up there. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, Miranda Priestly is Meryl Streep's greatest role ever. If she won an Oscar for playing Miranda Priestly for Devil Wears Prada 2, I would be the happiest person in the world.
Same.
I'm super excited for this film because the first one's one of my favorite of all time. I mean, the cast is so stacked.
So good.
The fact that Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, Stanley Tucci, and Meryl are still just at the top of their game. How many years later? It's like
It's been at
over
least
20,
Yeah.
right?
Wow, that makes me feel old.
I know. I just grew gray hair.
Oh
as
my
I said
goodness.
That. But another thing that makes me feel old is that the whole storyline is around Runway dying. Yes. It's like print. Right?
Yeah, and the rise of digital media as well. And like in the era of TikTok journalism, this is a story that definitely needs to be brought to life on screen for sure.
Totally.
I'm excited to see the fits too. I cannot wait.
I got my tickets opening night.
Did you?
Yeah.
What are you wearing?
Oh my God, red, obviously.
You have to.
I'm so excited. You have no idea. And also, I got even more excited when Lady Gaga and Doechii dropped their single for it. I think it's called Runway. It's so good. And Meryl Streep said that they spent the money on this one.
Ooh. So the stakes are super high.
She literally said in an interview, think of Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep's so rich.
Yeah.
Like Meryl Streep looks expensive. Right?
Yeah.
Like she breathes
Wonder
expensive
what she
air.
smells like too.
I know. Probably like $1 jillion.
Yes.
If she's in an interview saying like, you know when you do a movie and they don't like really
Right,
spend the
right,
money,
you can
she's
tell.
like, they
They
spent the
spent-
money on this one. I'm like, oh, give me all the Manolo Blahniks. I
Yes.
cannot wait for this
Yes.
fashion
I'm
film.
stoked. I can't wait to.
Yeah.
May 1st.
May 1st.
Yes.
And it's so cool that it's like right before Met Gala, which I think is perfect. Okay, but let's talk about another movie coming out. If you're not into fashion and you're into horror, you have to watch Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
Okay.
I cannot wait for this film. I love horror, and Lee Cronin is all about gore. So this isn't like your typical family-friendly Brendan Fraser The Mummy. This is a different one. This is a guy who did Evil Dead Rise, which is one of the goriest films of the last decade.
Yeah.
I read that he used 5
Gallons of blood,
Yes,
of fake
you
blood.
read the
I
same
read the
thing.
same thing. I was like, Oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm ready for this.
So if you're into gore, you're into like good horror, which
to
horror
see
is like probably one of my favorite genres right now as of the last decade.
I feel like we're missing out on a good gory horror film too, as of late.
Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
Gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to my personal favorite film of the year. You know I love rom-coms. We talked about this last episode.
Okay.
You, Me, and Tuscany.
That's your favorite rom-com of the year?
I love it. It's so good. It's so good. And this is why I think I love it, Naz, because people were expecting it to flop. And it didn't. It's so. Have you seen it?
No.
It is so good.
It's really good.
Regé-Jean Page.
I know you love saying his name.
But he's so hot. Yeah,
You said
I know,
it right.
because I know how to say it. I looked up a million videos on how to say it.
Same. It's so confusing.
It is
it's
confusing.
Regé-Jean Page.
Regé-Jean Page.
I mean,
like reggae, like the music.
I'm sorry, but ever since Bridgerton, we have been dying to see him make out with someone on screen.
Yes,
again. Like I was mad he didn't join Bridgerton.
And
again.
make out he will. Halle Bailey and him have amazing chemistry on screen. And it's not just like, it's very playful. She's very bubbly. She's so cute, so easy to root for. And it's just one of those films that just makes you feel good. It's like an escape. It's You, Me, and Tuscany meets Under the Tuscan Sun.
Oh, I love Under the Tuscan Sun.
It's so good. And it's a little bit of a coming of age story, you know, a young woman trying to figure herself out. Right. And also just like going after the love that you want, even though it may be wrong.
Well,
Did I say too much?
Lauren, what are you trying to tell us?
You have to see
even
it.
if it's toxic, go for it, guys.
Do it. Listen.
Do it in Italy. You know,
Yes.
it's so funny.
Because
like
no one will know.
Well, being in Europe, it's like it's like being at the airport. It's like there's no laws, there's no rules. You can have a margarita at 5 a.m.
No one
like
cares.
waiting for your plane.
What happens in Italy
When
stays
I'm
in
in
Italy.
Europe, it's like I'm a different Naz. I totally get that.
Yes.
It did look like Italian porn to me. I gotta tell you, I was the type of girl that like didn't want to see it in theaters because Universal always releases things like
Right away on
17
streaming.
days later.
I know.
So this was one personally for me. I will watch, but I was like, I'm excited to watch with a glass of wine on my couch.
But it is one too that you can go with your sisters, your girlfriends. You can
That's
go.
true.
I saw it with a man. Like
That's
it's
true.
great because then they can take notes of what they need to do.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
What's
move
another
on.
movie coming?
Backrooms.
Okay.
Yes.
Backrooms is one I'm super stoked for, and I'm very excited to talk about this because I want
to me.
people to know like the background of it. A24 is my favorite movie studio as of right now. Like I just think they are putting out the coolest indie stories ever.
They really are.
They basically found a 20-year-old who was making horror movies in his room and putting them on YouTube.
So it's giving like Blair Witch.
And he was so good that they gave him a script and a film with Chiwetel Ejiofor. So when you tune into Backrooms, you're basically watching like the future of horror unfold. Yeah. So high recommendation on my end.
Yeah,
personally.
yeah. And then last but certainly not least, next thing that's up next.
Next thing's up.
What's coming up next?
Take a ginger shot when she says next.
The Mandalorian.
Oh my god, I love the Mandalorian.
I do too.
Okay, can I tell you?
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
So cute.
I manifested and made this movie happen.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's because of Naz that the Mandalorian exists.
I'm
okay?
sorry, I'm gonna be so annoying and in my ego,
Please be
but
annoying.
like I am the reason this movie. No, I'm kidding.
Tell us why.
I was at D23 when
Yes.
this movie was announced years ago. I'm talking like years ago. I'm on the carpet with Pedro Pascal, and The Mandalorian was like the biggest, you know, Star Wars IP at the time because people weren't really used to Star Wars being serialized live action, right? Where all the live action Star Wars we've seen on the big screen, and The Mandalorian was just so good because of Jon Favreau, and they built they built the Volume, which is like this huge LED screen dome in California, and that's where they shoot The Mandalorian, which is cool, which is what I love about it. And I asked Pedro, I said, do you ever think you would end the series with a film? And he was like, these are really good questions. He's like, I would love to, and if it's not an idea today, it will be after today.
So
and he
when
like
it
laughed.
happens,
So I was like 100%. It's either it was happening that
Yeah.
day or he went and had a meeting because of my question. No, I'm just kidding. I'm very excited for The Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm a
Same.
massive, massive Star Wars fan. Pedro Pascal is just, he's so lovable. And his relationship with Baby Yoda is everything.
yeah, and visually too. This movie or this
Visually.
show is insane.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, it's one of the, I think it's one of the first Star Wars films that we'll see shot 100% in the volume in that LED screen. So
Insane.
it's really cool. I think it's one to not miss. And before we say goodbye, I just want to give quick shout outs to
Give
some
it
of the two biggest films of the year I'm most excited about, which is The Odyssey, Nolan this summer. I mean, him and Matt Damon's third collaboration. That's just going to be like insane.
Yes.
Zendaya, Tom Holland,
How could
Anne
it not?
Hathaway. I mean,
Yes.
come on. Anne Hathaway's been busy this year.
I know. Same with Zendaya and Tom.
And then speaking of Zendaya and Tom,
Yes.
Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Can't wait.
Fourth Tom Holland solo Spider-Man film. He's one of my favorite Spider-Mans, and the trailer was the biggest trailer launch ever.
What was it? It was like
it got 718 million views in 24 hours. Yeah, something insane like that. So, anyways, I am so excited. This whole year is so many movies. I'm very much looking forward to.
Yes, we just gave you guys a lot of stuff to watch. We want to know which titles you're going to be watching and which ones you're going to be skipping.
Yes, please let us know everything that you think in the comments.
I'm Lauren Ashley Beck.
And I'm Naz Perez. And remember, when you got to figure out what to watch, go to
Just Watch. I said watch again.